Hello everyone, I thought it was time for another walk. We are in Hampstead again, North Hampstead, and I thought we should have a look at the beautiful Kenwood House just behind us there. I'm sure some of you recognize it already. It's been used in quite a few films and TV shows and so on, and it's quite a good photo opportunity. So let's just have a look around. All right, here we go. Oh, let me just show you this, by the way. There are some quite good signs here with a bit of a description of Kenwood. It is indeed one of London's finest country houses, as it says, and it has been open to the public for quite a long time. It's managed and looked after by English Heritage since 1929, which is quite impressive. It's closed now, of course, due to the pandemic, but it's definitely worth a visit. There's some beautiful interior, beautiful paintings, artwork, sculptures and so on. Beautiful rooms. And this white building in the middle of a beautiful green park. It just rained quite a lot a few days ago, so everything seems sort of very fresh and nice. As you can see, there are some smaller walking paths that leads up to, well, you can go all the way around the house actually. If you think of this side of it as a facade, you have to enter the house, the building, from the other side. So you walk around it to enter when it's open. And there's some really beautiful gardens round the back with some beautiful, beautiful flower beds. You will probably also recognize Kenwood from quite a few films and TV shows and so on. It's quite a well-known filming location because it's very recognizable, but it's a beautiful house, and there's some large grounds here, so it allows for quite huge film crews to set up and to work. It was sort of restored, I think it was the first Earl of Mansfield in 17 something. I have to look that up exactly so I don't give you the wrong year. But this is not a bad place to go for a picnic in the summer, have an ice cream and so on, let the kids play, the dogs. There's some lovely little ponds down there as well. And as you can tell, because the grounds are so big, it can take quite a lot of people before it seems sort of overcrowded. It's a bit windy. I hope it's not too noisy. There is a very lovely little cafe over to this side as well, obviously not open yet. Very nice to sit there in the summer. And we are again in the north of Hampstead Heath. There's some great walks around here if you want to walk the heath. You can get to Kenwood from many different directions. But everything seems, if you look at the windows, everything seems still pretty shut down, sadly. But I imagine they're going to reopen very soon. If you Google it, I'm pretty sure you'll find lots of pictures of the interior. It's a very, very pretty place to go for a walk inside. And they look after it very well. I thought, let's just walk up and see if we can actually have just a little glimpse behind the house. Now, an interesting thing about places like these is, of course, historically, when you're doing interpretation, of course you want to present the house in the best possible way, but it's also very much making it sort of part of the grounds as well, and of the parks. And this is, of course, places that is used by the public and for everything: walking, picnicking, going for runs, going for a walk with the dog, and so on. So it's a place people use as well as a historical place, and you kind of have to let people use it in whatever way they want to. So you very much have to let the historic play in with nature and with sort of normal public use of a space. You'll also see like groups of people coming here to exercise and work out and do yoga and so on. And of course some people come to actually visit and see it inside and learn more about the place. When all this is in bloom, it's really, really gorgeous. It started now over there. Let's just have a look over here. Look at that. There's some really, really beautiful, well-kept flower beds around here. I don't even think we can have a little cheeky glimpse inside. I think there's shutters everywhere, sadly. Fair enough, really. They're looking after it. But a magnificent country house it is, no doubt about it. And again, lots of walking paths and around here. Beautiful place to come for a walk. And this is where you would normally enter the building. Everything's pretty short still, sadly. Oh, we got the sun a little bit against us there. But I wanted just to take you down the park again very quickly, just to show you the house from a little bit further away, and also give you a better impression of the grounds. They obviously continue down into the park, in the woods and in the heath. let's walk through here. That's very nice. There's some beautiful details in the gardens here as well, and it only shows just how important it is to make everything work together. To make it all work together. When you have a historical building, you have a garden, you have a park, and as I said, it's all public, it's in use, and people use it for many different purposes. So it kind of has to work on many different levels, which is always a challenge and interesting to do. Let's just have a glimpse of the house from here. People exercising there. Oh, the stairs are a bit slippery. Be a bit careful here. About a month or so ago, this bit here was quite pretty because it was completely covered in daffodils. Let's go down here. But as I said, it's very interesting when you have to do with a really beautiful building that's kind of a site in its own right. You have the interior and the history of that building. Some of it might be original, some of it might be restored. And you have grounds and parks and gardens as well. And depending on how it's used, by whom and so on, you kind of have to make a decision about how you make all that work together, and pay attention to, oh sorry, very windy here, pay attention to how people use it. Which part of it do they like to use the most? How are they using it? How do you make it all work together? Also, bits of things might require an entrance fee. You might pay a bit to go and see the interior, for example, or sometimes you might pay for bits of the gardens and so on, depending on how you're situated and how you're organized, how everything is structured. It is lovely though that people use the spaces as much as they do, but of course that also means wear and tear, and looking after and maintenance and so on. So that's definitely another thing to consider. But a very strong appeal of Kenwood especially is the grounds as well. It's the lovely parks. The house obviously is very beautiful in itself, but it kind of works with the parks and with the grounds around here. I always love coming to this bit of the park. You can see there's a bit of modern art as well. It's a very quiet corner. Well, apart from the ducks there, I'm not sure what they're on about. Don't fight, guys. Let's just turn around and have a look at. You can see the house from quite far away, even when you come up here from the woods. You can sort of see tiny corners and glimpses of it as you walk towards it. And then of course you can just feel free to disappear into the heath from here, which is kind of great. Oh, I don't know, can you see that beautiful white bridge from here? I love that one. It's very romantic. I feel a bit like I'm in a Jane Austen movie or something when walking out. It's a nice time of year as well, coming here, but it's actually great almost all times of year. But this is an interesting challenge. If you, if you happen to work at any historical houses or buildings, or if you have just visited some, have you paid any attention to or noticed how the interpretation was made in terms of telling the story of the place, in terms of making it work with perhaps parks or grounds, uh, interior, were they open? Sometimes you find historical houses that still um, occupied by descendants or something, and they have to make it work as a house and a place of living, as well as kind of a museum, really open to the public. And that balance is always tricky, I find. So if you have any examples of places where you think this works really well, or where they've done something special to make this work, nature, history, building in one, architecture in one, then do share it. It would be really interesting to hear. All right, that was a little glimpse of Kenwood House and Hampstead Heath. I hope you enjoy, and I hope we can go for another walk sometime. Thanks very much and take care.